Welcome, truly wonderful listeners, to an incredible journey, a story so profoundly moving, so utterly compelling, it will undoubtedly stir your very soul. Today, we're not just telling a tale, we're immersing ourselves in the astonishing life of Jack Ma, a man whose every breath, whose every step resonates with unyielding perseverance, an almost boundless vision, and a spirit that, quite simply, defied every single obstacle, refusing to be silenced no matter how daunting the odds. Prepare yourselves. This is inspiration at its purest, most vibrant core. When we gaze upon the colossal, globally recognized titan that Jack Ma has become, a name whispered with reverence across continents, it's genuinely mind-boggling, almost incomprehensible, to truly grasp the sheer mountain of rejections he had to courageously scale in his early life. It's a chapter that, for nearly anyone else, would have unequivocally, completely crushed their aspirations, extinguished their very hope. Just imagine this. Born in Hangzhou, China, into a family navigating very limited means, his academic path was, well, let's just say it was incredibly arduous, a path strewn with setbacks. Can you even begin to truly fathom this persistent struggle? He failed his primary school examinations not once, but twice, and then his middle school exams, an astonishing, heartbreaking thrice, and the infamous university entrance exam, an agonizing 3 times over. It really makes you pause and reflect, doesn't it? But the story of rejection, remarkably, didn't end there. His desperate attempts to secure any kind of employment were equally profoundly disheartening. Picture this scene, if you will. 24 eager applicants vying for a coveted job at KFC, and a staggering 23 were welcomed into the fold. He, Jack Ma, was the only one turned away, the sole individual deemed not quite right. He even tried to join the police force, seeking a path of service, but again, the door was slammed shut with a blunt, unmistakable, "You are simply not good enough." And then, almost unbelievably, he applied to Harvard Business School, a staggering, persistent 10 times, and received 10 unyielding rejections. Just try to comprehend that relentless barrage of dismissal, that consistent message of no. Most of us would have, without a doubt, eventually surrendered, thrown in the towel after just a couple of those soul-crushing setbacks. Yet the magic, the true essence of his character, lies in what happened next. He, quite astonishingly, transformed this very adversity into an unexpected, powerful strength. He taught himself English not in a classroom, but by volunteering as a free tour guide for foreign visitors in Hangzhou, immersing himself, practicing his language skills with genuine enthusiasm, and absorbing a truly unique, expansive global perspective directly from the source. He eventually graduated from Hangzhou Normal University with an English degree, then started teaching, earning a paltry, almost unbelievable $12 a month. Yes, just $12. This, my friends, was the incredibly humble, the truly improbable starting point for a man who would, one day, send seismic shifts across the entire global economy. What an utterly incredible, inspiringly defiant beginning. His world, and indeed the entire future of China, was fundamentally, irrevocably changed during a pivotal trip to the United States as a translator in 1995. It was there, amidst the unfamiliar hum of a new land, that he stumbled upon the Internet for the very first time. His initial simple search? A seemingly innocuous word, beer. And he was absolutely staggered, completely taken aback to find no results for Chinese beer. Just imagine that moment of stark realization. This unexpected void ignited an unmistakable, brilliant spark within him, a revelation. He instantly perceived the vast, utterly untapped potential of the internet to bridge connections, to link China's burgeoning spirit with the colossal, waiting world. It was a vision that would define his life's work. Driven by this profound insight, he later fearlessly launched China Pages, making it one of China's very first internet businesses, tirelessly creating websites for Chinese companies, striving to put them on the global map. And though that initial venture ultimately faltered, succumbing to frustrating partnership issues and technological limitations of the time, it was an absolutely crucial, profoundly formative step. It was without a doubt the rigorous training ground, the essential blueprint for the colossal empire that was yet to spectacularly emerge. After those incredibly valuable, though undoubtedly painful lessons, Jack Ma did not, for 1 second, retreat. He did not, miraculously, abandon his extraordinary vision. Instead, in 1999, right there in his small, unassuming apartment in Hangzhou, filled with dreams and an unwavering belief, surrounded by just 17 utterly dedicated friends and colleagues, he bravely, ambitiously laid the foundational stones for something truly, staggeringly monumental: Alibaba. Their initial investment was a shockingly modest $60,000. Can you even begin to grasp the sheer audacity, the incredible courage of that undertaking? The inspiring legend of the 18 Arhats, as they are so affectionately known, radiates such immense power, a testament to shared belief. These individuals were not some group of seasoned, established entrepreneurs. Their collective, unwavering belief in Jack Ma's audacious vision, even when the internet was little more than a whisper, a nascent concept in China, was simply beyond extraordinary. His core idea was disarmingly simple, yet utterly revolutionary: to forge a global business-to-business marketplace, a dynamic bridge connecting small Chinese manufacturers directly with eager buyers all across the globe. He famously, resonantly declared, "We will make it easy to do business anywhere." A powerful, compelling promise that echoed with boundless potential. Absolutely. But let's be very clear. The journey ahead was anything but a smooth, effortless glide. The hurdles were immense, truly daunting. China's internet infrastructure was rudimentary at best and incredibly, prohibitively expensive. There was widespread, deep-seated public skepticism about trusting online transactions, a huge barrier to overcome. Building that crucial, foundational trust was absolutely paramount, an immediate priority. They toiled relentlessly, often on barely any sleep, facing a torrent of skepticism from established businesses and even from global investors who just couldn't quite grasp the magnitude of his dream. So many people dismissed it as a crazy, destined-to-fail idea. Yet Jack Ma's unwavering, almost infectious belief in the internet's power to uplift small businesses, to empower them, was simply captivating. He knew in his bones that the internet could and would democratize trade.
And their incredible perseverance, their sheer refusal to quit, astonishingly bore glorious fruit. In 2003, sensing a significant, formidable threat from eBay's powerful entry into the Chinese market, Jack Ma made a daring, incredibly bold move. He launched Taobao, a direct consumer-to-consumer marketplace. This was incredibly risky, as eBay was a colossal, global powerhouse. But Taobao, with its ingenious strategy of offering free listings and an intense, laser-like focus on deeply understanding the unique local Chinese market, swiftly, brilliantly outmaneuvered eBay. It was a masterclass in competitive strategy, a David versus Goliath triumph. And then, a truly critical innovation, born out of absolute necessity, emerged. Alipay, launched that very same year. This brilliant escrow service directly addressed the fundamental, gnawing lack of trust in online transactions across China, where credit card usage was incredibly low. It brilliantly allowed buyers to confidently confirm receipt of their goods before payment was ever released to the seller. What an absolute game changer! It built immense, indispensable trust and paved the way for e-commerce to truly, spectacularly flourish. As Jack Ma so profoundly put it, today is hard, tomorrow will be worse, but the day after tomorrow will be sunshine. A testament to sheer grit, to undying optimism. With Taobao and Alipay firmly established, Alibaba's growth became, quite simply, explosive, absolutely jaw-dropping. They expanded far beyond their initial business-to-business roots, transforming into a comprehensive, sprawling digital ecosystem. Tmall, a premier business-to-consumer platform, took off. Alibaba Cloud soared to become a dominant, formidable force in cloud computing. And Canao Network completely revolutionized logistics, streamlining delivery like never before. Alibaba wasn't just an e-commerce company anymore. It was an entire digital infrastructure builder, a true pioneer. The entire world watched in absolute awe as this incredible Chinese company achieved unprecedented scale, culminating in its truly historic initial public offering on the New York Stock Exchange in 2014, raising a staggering, record-breaking $25 billion. It was, at that time, the single largest IPO in United States history. What an unparalleled moment of immense triumph, unequivocally cementing Jack Ma's status as a bona fide global business icon. But let's be very clear, my friends, with such immense meteoric success, often come equally immense, unforeseen challenges. Jack Ma's outspoken nature, that very characteristic that so powerfully fueled his entrepreneurial drive, also, on occasion, led him into sharp, direct conflict with established norms. One of the most significant, attention-grabbing challenges roared into being in late 2020. The dramatic sudden suspension of Ant Group's colossal IPO. Ant Group, Alibaba's powerful fintech affiliate, which of course operates the ubiquitous Alipay, was poised to raise an estimated $37 billion, ready to become the world's largest public offering. The anticipation was palpable. The financial world held its breath. Then a stunning, abrupt silence. The silence was deafening. Just mere days, agonizing days before the scheduled listing, Jack Ma delivered an impassioned, fiery speech, openly, directly criticizing Chinese financial regulators and state-owned banks. He boldly accused them of stifling vital innovation, of clinging to outdated models. This incredibly candid critique was perceived, undoubtedly, as a direct, audacious challenge to the authorities. The fallout? It was immediate and utterly profound. The IPO was abruptly halted, and regulatory scrutiny across Alibaba's entire vast empire intensified, becoming incredibly tight, seemingly overnight. And the intense scrutiny, my friends, certainly did not end there. In April 2021, Chinese regulators levied a staggering $2.8 billion anti-monopoly fine on Alibaba, accusing the company of brazenly abusing its dominant market position by coercing merchants into exclusivity arrangements, essentially preventing them from selling on rival platforms. This was without question a monumental blow, a true test of their mettle. However, Alibaba, with remarkable composure, publicly accepted the penalty and announced its commitment to making thorough rectifications. This period marked a significant, visible shift. Jack Ma himself largely stepped back from the intense public spotlight and noticeably reduced his direct operational influence within Ant Group, even quite symbolically, ceding control by significantly reducing his voting rights. This pivotal move powerfully demonstrated his deep capacity to adapt, to prioritize the company's long-term stability and future, even at a considerable personal cost. A true mark of leadership, wouldn't you say? It spoke volumes about his commitment. Despite these unprecedented, formidable challenges, the extraordinary story of Jack Ma is, at its core, one of truly incredible, inspiring resilience. His profound philosophy has always been firmly anchored in learning deeply from every single failure, a powerful, universally resonant message for anyone, anywhere, striving passionately for greatness. He so famously, so wisely articulated, "The very important thing you should have is patience." He consistently, passionately championed the potential of small businesses, seeing them as the absolute future, the heartbeat of innovation, and always placed the customer at the absolute center of everything they did. His leadership style, vibrantly charismatic and powerfully visionary, quite simply inspired millions upon millions of people. He genuinely embodied the very essence of relentless optimism and brilliantly strategic thinking, didn't he? He meticulously, thoughtfully instilled a profound culture of enthusiastically embracing change and ingeniously solving problems. He would often say with such unwavering conviction, "Never give up. Today is hard, tomorrow will be worse, but the day after tomorrow will be sunshine." This unwavering, almost magical belief, even in the absolute darkest, most trying moments, is undeniably a cornerstone of his monumental success and a potent, invaluable lesson for every single one of us. It is, at its heart, about perceiving exhilarating possibilities where others, quite frankly, see only insurmountable obstacles. It's about vision, pure and simple. And looking at his journey beyond the intense operational spotlight of Alibaba, we see a truly remarkable evolution. In recent years, Jack Ma has, quite deliberately, largely stepped back from the day-to-day operations, gracefully transitioning into a brand new, incredibly impactful phase of his life, one focused heavily, passionately, on philanthropy. Through the impactful Jack Ma Foundation, he has dedicated himself wholeheartedly to vital initiatives in education, critical rural development, and crucial environmental conservation. Just imagine the reach, the positive change. During the tumultuous global pandemic, his foundation played a truly significant global role in generously donating essential medical supplies to countless nations, powerfully showcasing his profound humanitarian spirit on a global stage. This purposeful pivot vividly demonstrates a deep, genuine commitment to leveraging his vast resources and immense influence for a far broader, more universal societal good. It's truly moving to witness, a testament to a life lived with purpose beyond profit.
Jack Ma's entire journey, my dear friends, is so much more, so infinitely richer than just a mere business success story. It is a profoundly moving, deeply resonant narrative of an individual who faced every conceivable rejection, every imaginable challenge, yet resolutely, heroically chose to persevere, to innovate with fierce determination, and to wholeheartedly believe in a future that at the time others simply could not, would not see. His life stands as a brilliant, powerful beacon, vividly reminding each of us that our past, with all its struggles, absolutely does not define our boundless potential, and that with sufficient courage, unshakable integrity, and an unyielding, crystal-clear vision, even the most unlikely, humble beginnings can indeed lead to the most extraordinary, magnificent destinies imaginable. Truly, the very best view, the most breathtaking panorama, comes only after the hardest, most arduous climb. What an incredible legacy to ponder.